Going to give you a brief idea about tender board, the operation of tender board, because we realize a lot of suppliers, and I'm sure some of you are suppliers here or contractors, have no idea about the activities of tender board. So we'll just go through it briefly, and then I will start talking about our e-tendering system. As you see, Tender Board is a fully independent body established by a royal decree. It was established in 2003 with a clear agenda to set up a strict regulatory mechanism that would ensure fairness and equal opportunity for you guys, for the suppliers and contractors. The role of Tender Board is clearly expressed in the Legislative Decree number 36 on 9 October 2002 with respect to the law regulating government tenders and purchases. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry?
Can it be a bit louder?
Yeah, I can. It's okay. The responsibility of Tender Board is to protect the public funds and prevent the undue influence of personal interest on tenders formalities, achieve maximum levels of economic efficiency in purchasing activity to competitive and fair prices, encourage suppliers and contractors to participate in government tenders and purchases, encourage integrity, competitiveness, fair treatment, and equal opportunity to all contractors and suppliers, ensure total transparency in all aspects of purchasing procedure by the government. Vision, our vision is to be a world-class role model organization in tendering practice, we hope, of course. And our mission is the Tender Board is a government authority to ensure excellence, equality, transparency, and fair competition in government tenders and purchases. Our value, integrity and transparency, trans and respect, equal and equity, quality and excellence, accountability, professionalism, and creativity also is our values. This picture or this slide will show you the objective of Tender Board, which I just recently mentioned, is the transparency, equal opportunity, public fund protection. This is the main objective of Tender Board. Now I'm going to explain to you about the operation, because as a suppliers, I don't think you are aware of what's happening in the purchasing authority or between purchasing authority and Tender Board. You only go and purchase documents and supply your bids, but there are so many cycles. Some of you may know, but some of you are not aware of what's going on. So normally what happens when the purchasing authority, I'm talking about the government now, decided to go for a tender, they have to create their tender. And once they create their tender, it has to be approved internally first with their management, and then they send it to Tender Board to get their approval. Once it's approved at Tender Board, they will have to publish it to the suppliers and contractors through the newspapers or through our website. If it is international one, it's always going to be also in outside newspapers like in Europe or the States, wherever. Once it's published, the suppliers and contractors will go and purchase the documents. If they are interested in that tender, they will purchase the document and they will go and submit their documents to the purchasing. They will submit their documents, their bid, to Tender Board, of course, before the closing date. It has to be before the closing date. Once it's submitted in Tender Board, the tenders will be opened. And normally the closing day is Wednesday at 1:30, and next day, which is Thursday, they open the tenders. Once it is opened, we transfer it or we send it back to the purchasing authority where the evaluation take care. I mean, they take care of the evaluation as they have their own team. They do the evaluation, and then once it's evaluated, they will make their decision, their recommendation. And once they agreed on the recommendation with the management, they will send it back to tender board to approve it. So once it's approved at tender board, as you see here, it will end it when the decision is made at tender board to award that tender, and then they will continue the rest of the process between purchasing authority and the supplier contractors. Now I'm going to talk about the e-tendering system. The e-tendering system, the idea of e-tendering system, when we decided to go to e-tendering system, we said we need to automate all the process which is run manually into electronic system, which is make it easy to everybody, the suppliers, the purchasing authorities, and of course to tender board. E-tendering system is described as the electronic publishing, communication, accessing, receiving, and submitting of all tenders, related information, and documentation by the internet, thereby replacing the traditional process and achieving a more efficient business process for all parties involved. When we developed the system, we started actually in 2007, but for some reason it took some time till we implemented the system. And we decided to implement it all phases. So we have already implemented the first phase in 2000 actually. After testing the system in 2010, we implemented the first phase actually end of October, early January 2011. And it was anyway successful when we ran the test on it. The idea of the first test is going to enable the government purchasing authority to upload their documents into the system electronically, and then the suppliers and the contractors will be able to purchase the documents if they are interested by purchasing it electronically and download the document from the system. And to pay electronically, we have a system called the e-payment gateway. So they have to use their credit card and just electronically purchase it. And I'll show you later on how it works. This shows how we link all the purchasing authorities and the suppliers with tender board, where the tender is initiated and submitted to tender board for approval, and then it goes back. Once it's approved, it gets published, and suppliers will purchase it, bid by sending their bids to tender board, and then when it is opened, it will go back to purchasing. It's the whole cycle which I've just explained now. This process is exactly the same. Now we are doing the whole manual process, which was done manually, into electronic one, into the e-tendering system. And exactly the same cycle we will go through by doing the e-tendering system, but it's going to be all electronically rather than manual process. And that will reduce the papers and all this manual stuff. The objectives of e-tendering, it will enhance the overall quality, timelines, and cost effectiveness of tender process. This I'm talking about the benefit now of the e-tendering itself. Provide a more streamlined method of submitting, managing, and receiving tenders documents than the traditional paper-based process. It will improve services to Bahrain Tender Board, the government, and the suppliers as well. Provide a single platform. It is going to be one platform. Instead of the suppliers go to the purchasing authority to purchase the documents, and after they have to go and submit by taking all the documents to tender board to submit, it's going to be all through the system electronically. And that's the beauty of the e-tendering. It's 100% transparency, less manual effort, less paper. Definitely you will see how much you will reduce in the paperwork, especially for us as a tender board and for the purchasing authority. And we have already started, and we have seen how much we have reduced in the paper. High-level data security, we have done an audit on the system, a security audit, which is a very secure system. Sorry, it's high-level quality results, and you will see that once you use the system, and high-level availability, which is the system is available 24 hours the whole week. You can always review in the system, see what's in there, see if there's any tenders for you. If you want to purchase it, it's always available for you. When you go to the e-tendering system, there is a portal, and again I'll show you in the other slides, where you can register, online registration we call it, online register for suppliers and contractors. And those suppliers who register, they will get the notification. If there is any tenders in the system, you will automatically receive an email saying there is a tenders. I'm talking about the public tenders now. And if you are one of those invited for the limited tenders, there is an email also will go to those invited suppliers to tell them, okay, there is a tender for you. And that's why we call it registered suppliers contractors get notified about the new tenders. They can view the basic details. When you go to the system, you can see the details of the tenders, but very basic. But if you are interested and if you are registered, you go deep into it and you can see all the information you require in that document, and then you can purchase it. We call it online tender fees here. Online tender fees, as I said, you have to use your credit card and purchase the documents. Otherwise, you can also, we have another option where you can use check or cash outside the system by going to the purchasing authority, because some of the suppliers, we noticed that they don't have a credit card. So the option is there to go and buy it from the purchasing authority. But once they purchase it, once they paid, they can let them purchase it from the system again. We have an option where they can say, okay, he has paid the fees, then he can electronically purchase the document. This is for the first phase. Now, the e-tendering system, as I said, it's a complete cycle, but we are only starting with the first phase. The second phase, which is going to cover the whole process of tender cycle, where online submission, you can submit your bid online. You don't have to go to tender board and submit your tenders, your documents. You just, in your office, you can electronically send it to tender board through their system. Online submission of bid response, multiple submission. Sometimes if you are suppliers, you bid, but before the closing day, you might want to change some of the information. Before the closing, you have the right. So we have this option also in the system. Online submission of reconsideration and complaints. This means if suppliers wants to get some information or has complaints, again, we can all do it through the system. Here, just to say that we have two phases. The first phase, we have already implemented, and suppliers have started purchasing the document from the system. Purchase authority also started uploading their documents into the system, and we don't have any issue with the first phase. It's going very smooth, successfully. The second phase, well, this is the first phase. Let me just go through the first phase. In first phase, what happens, the purchasing authority will create the tenders. I'm talking about electronically now. They will create their tender. They will get it approved by tender board, and then they will publish it. They will publish it into the system. You will see it in the system. Then once it is published, the suppliers will purchase it again electronically, as I said, by the credit card, cash, or check. And this is the workflow. I'm just trying to give you an idea how it works, because some of the suppliers have no idea about it. This is the steps. Request here, the purchase authority send their request initially to tender board, because they have to get approval before they start the tender. Tender board make the decision about it. If they agreed, yes, you can issue this tender. Purchase authority here, they will put it online, uploading it. And then once it is uploaded, it will go again to tender board. This is all in the system now. They will approve it. Once it's approved, they will publish it in the system, and the suppliers will go directly and just purchase it. Those who is going to purchase the document, they need to be registered in the system. Otherwise, they cannot go into the system and just buy the documents. So that's very important. You get to know that. If you go to our website, when I'm talking about the portal, our portal, the e-tendering system, you will see two login, one for purchasing authority, and this is only for us as a tender board and government, the ministries, where they can upload their system, their documents. The other one is for the suppliers and contractors, where it says supplier login. I'm not going, because this is, I've just explained this, the workflow, which shows exactly what's happening. Okay, once they go into the system, they need, as I said, they need to be registered, and once they are registered, they will get their username and password electronically, and then they can log into the system to view the document, to see what's in there, whether they are interested or not. If they are interested, they can continue to purchase the document. They can log in, see the public tenders, if it is public, and if it is limited tender, it's only those who are invited by the purchasing authority. Not everybody can, not all the suppliers can go to the limited tender. And then, if they are interested, they will purchase it. This is just shows that sheet where when they log in, they will see what's in there, what tender is there, and they can click on the number of tender, and they can see the rest of the details of that tender. If they are happy and they want to bid, then what they need to do is they need just to go and purchase it. And this sheet shows you how to purchase that document. It says buy tender documents. If they just click on it, it will bring them here where it shows them the fees of that tenders, because there are several types of fees, but as an example, if it is 15, because now we have this system, everything is electronically, there is an administration fees, which is part of the tender fees is going to be included. And then it tells them that the document fees is 15 and the administration fee is 3 dinar, then total is going to be 18 dinar. If they are happy, they can proceed by submitting, and it will come show them which credit card they have to use, and they just, if they are agreeing that, fill the information, and then they will be in a position to purchase the document. They can download it. If it has to tell them that the fee has been accepted, then they will be able to download the tenders, and they can print it instead of going manually and paying to the purchase authority and get a hard copy. This all going to be electronically. And the second phase, I mentioned it earlier, we will be able, or the suppliers will be able to submit online. They can see the opening online when it is opened on, when the opening take place in tender board. They will be able to see through the system, the opening. And when I said evaluation here, evaluation is for purchasing authority. You will not be able, of course, to see it as a suppliers now I'm talking about, but this evaluation, it will be conducted online by the purchase authority. And tender board also, the board members, they can see everything, the documents, the recommendation of the purchasing authority, and then once they are happy, they will approve it electronically again. Contract here, there is sometimes contract between the suppliers and the purchasing authority, but this contract, it can be handled outside when it is agreed and formalized. They can also scan it and include it in the system. Just to let you know, since we started this project, we have trained almost all the purchasing authority, all the ministries, and they are in a position now to use the system. And so far, I think there are about 15 ministries or authorities have used the system by uploading their documents into the system. And we have also trained the suppliers. We have conducted the training for suppliers, and so far over 800, I think they have taken the training, and so many of them, I think 1,000, 2,000, 1,200, I think 1,300 suppliers have already registered into the system. And out of this, who purchased the documents, 384 did purchase the documents from the e-tendering system successfully. And when we talked to them, they were very, very happy to use the system. I will let you know in a minute because I'm going to give enough time for question and answer. I'm expecting so many questions, so we'll answer those, inshallah. So the training for purchasing authorities, we already finished it, and now there is another training for the suppliers where we are doing it in batches. The first batch was 2 years ago, and now the second batch we have started and it's going on. Anybody interested, any suppliers interested, the training is supported by Tamkeen, by the way, just for your information, where you can just register for it and you can go and do the training. It says 1 day or 8 hours training maximum. So it's an opportunity for the suppliers, contractors to go for that training. You can use the system, but that training will make it very easy to understand it and use it without any problem. And this is our email, just in case anybody interested for the training. You can call one of these 2 numbers, or there's a help desk we have. This is tender board number, and you can register for the training. I think I'll just stop here because I want to make it open for question and answer rather than just talking about it. Thank you for listening. Well, he's first. Fadal. Sorry?
You are not too much advanced. You are late using this kind of system.
How come? What do you mean we are not advanced? Well, there is nobody in the Middle East have the complete cycle of the tendering, by the way. There is e-tendering, but it doesn't include all the cycle. We have seen the one in Oman, we have seen the one in Dubai, I think, but they don't have the complete cycle. Sorry, I can't hear you very well.
The only country using the complete cycle in the Middle East?
No, they have e-tendering or e-procurement, but the complete cycle, I mean, that's what I mean. So far, I haven't seen. If you have seen, just let me know. They have e-tendering, but doesn't cover all the process. And that's why we started some time ago, but we are still working on it because it's different. It could be much easier because like the one in Oman, I remember I visited them. First of all, their limit, their tenders is up to, I think, 5 million, and there are not that much a week. And they don't have the evaluation side. This is everything outside. I think they open they submit, open, and award, but the evaluation and other stuff, they don't have it.
Because I think the price is not too much, we are not too much advanced.
Why not advance? You just tell me.
Not too much advanced, actually.
Which one to advance?
We are too much late, I think.
In which way? That's what I'm saying. Why we are late?
Only 1 year, sir.
Nobody, by the way, nobody in the region have started e-tendering with the complete cycles. Nobody so far. I was talking to Oman 2 months ago, and they are hesitating.
Part.
Yeah, only part, exactly. There was a lady here. I will come back to you. Okay, we'll start with you.
Thank you for the presentation. Through the system, can we inspect the tender documents before we go ahead and purchase them?
You can review.
Yeah.
You can review, no, before, you can review the tender. She said, can she view it before submitting?
No, you cannot review the documents.
The documents, because for example, the Ministry of Education, they float a tender microscopes.
Yeah.
And before I want to purchase the document, I want to find out if these microscopes are within the range of scope of my supply.
The details, you have to purchase it to see the details.
So I have to, but now we can inspect. So this system means that's more efficient.
How can you inspect it without
Yes,
buying
just
it?
go to the ministry and look at the documents, and if they are within the scope of the supply, of our supplies, then we go and purchase it, because why purchase documents if we cannot supply the product?
But they would actually give you a copy of the document.
What we heard from purchasing authority, and that's what we know, you need to buy it, otherwise nobody will go and buy it.
We go buy it after we inspect, if it is within the range of the products we can supply, then we go and...
No, you can review some of the details, you can review it, it tells you what type of tender, but the details of it, you have to purchase it.
But I'm saying now, currently, we go ahead and go and...
I don't know why that purchase authority give you that, but what we understand, you can't unless you buy it. Let's see the, yeah, it's your turn.
I just want to clarify on that point. That you mean when you do the bid analysis, you will expose all the information of the bids of the winner, why he got the contract, or you will be...
I didn't get you. What?
The bid analysis.
Bid analysis?
Your matrix, yes. Bid analysis matrix.
Okay.
Will be exposed, or you will just award the...
No, what is going to be exposed is the opening. When you open, you will see all the suppliers at that. Yeah. Otherwise, you cannot expose the rest. Yeah. Fadli?
Just to clarify, I need you to clarify something for me.
Yeah.
Okay? Only the public sector, which is the government or ministry, allowed to publish the tenders, for example, as a private sector, as a company.
No, private you cannot. You have to be a government purchasing authority.
So only government will publish the tender?
Only government purchasing authority who is under tender board law can submit their tender.
As a bit like, for example, there is oil or something they are selling. For example, they will publish the tender or the bid. So I will apply, I will give like the...
You are talking as a supplier now?
No, I'm saying like I'm going to purchase.
Yeah, you want to purchase.
So the government will publish a bid, okay, and I'll give a quotation.
Yeah.
Okay, and they will reply me back whether it's accepted or not.
You have to see, it depends on the project, because some of them they require pre-qualification. So you need to be pre-qualified if you want to purchase or if you want to participate in that project. Otherwise, like other things like purchasing computer, whatever, you don't need to be pre-qualified. Then you can just go and bid for it.
Because I think it's a two-way process here. It's I'm going as a private sector. I will be the supplier sometimes, and I could be like the purchaser as well. It depends. Right?
How come you can be a private sector and a government purchasing authority?
Yeah, for example, I need you to clarify. The public sector now is selling something or buying.
No, private sectors now in our system we have purchasing. Government purchasing authority who can buy or they have projects, and we have the private sector, which is suppliers. I'm talking about suppliers, contractors who can sell. So if you want to sell something, you have to bid. I don't know whether that answers your question.
I thought it's a bid, like the government is like having this product or whatever, okay. Sometimes they got out as a lubricant, coming from a lubricant company. Sometimes they are making a bid for used engine oil.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to give a quotation, and they will answer me back whether it's accepted or not.
Okay.
So I'm asking here now, through using this website, is there like online bids the government publish it?
Can I answer?
Okay.
So basically, the e-tendering system is only for government purchasing authorities. So
Yeah.
any government entity which is under the tender board law will be able to publish the bid. So you as a company, if the bid is of interest to you, you will be able to bid for that. So what will happen? You will register in the system, you will purchase the tender documents, and then you will say, I'm going to bid for $1 million or something. Then 6 other companies are bidding as well. What will happen is the tender will be opened. Your bids will go to the purchasing authority. Let's say it's maybe BABCO or Ministry of Works, etc. They will do the evaluation of your bid and all the other bids as well. And then they will come with a recommendation that you are suitable or someone else is suitable. So you will know whether you've been awarded or not after maybe 6 months or so. So you're not going to be told on the spot, oh yes.
I think she wants to know if she can bid or not, right?
No, of course she can bid.
I can bid.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Of course you can bid.
Does this ask?
But whether they accept you or not, it depends on what's your proposal. It depends. You want to purchase from the government? That's what I'm trying to clear it. Excuse me, is your question is if you want to purchase from the government?
Yes.
No, if you want to purchase, it's outside because this is only for the government to purchase rather than the government selling. Now here the government are selling, and this is I don't think this is BABCO. I think they do that. They call it optioning or auctioning, I think. Okay, this is in BABCO. But for our system, it's only for purchasing authority to purchase, or if they have a project, I mean.
So I cannot use this if I want to buy from the government?
No, for the time being, there is something called e-procurement. We are working on it also. And in that system, you'll be able to, when we finish it, hopefully. Tfaddal.
Thank you for the information. I have 2 questions.
Sure.
First question. The current website that's being used, the e-tender.gov, I don't know if you...
We have 2 websites. We have tender board website,
Okay.
and we have the e-tendering.
Okay, the tender board website has the updated tenders, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so regardless of whether I get them on, because this is the first time I've heard of this, I've been following the tenders on the regular tendering website, and I look at the tender notices and the to-be-opened tabs
Okay.
on this tender itself, and I assumed that this was the only website for tenders, but this is active.
And that website, and our website, tender website, it's something called e-service.
Okay.
If you click in that, you will see the e-tendering.
But all these tenders, are they coming on there? Are they coming on the original homepage, or is it part of this portal by itself?
It's linked now. You
Okay,
can.
so whatever I see there, I will see here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first question. The second question, does this include as well, I think the lady had answered this, but just to be clear, Mumtalakat and yoga projects as well?
Yeah. We have trained those actually, both of them. We trained them, but I don't think we have any tender for them in e-tendering, but they are coming on board.
Okay, they're coming on board.
Yeah.
BABCO has obviously their own.
BABCO, they do. We have so many for them.
But they have also their own system. It's for a select closed number of contractors or suppliers. It's very much limited, so not everybody.
No, limited or public, it has to be. Yes, definitely. Unless it is under below 50,000 now. Earlier it was 100,000 now. Anything below 50,000, they have their system, but they have to report it also.
They have it with the CFM, I think that's what they
Yeah.
call it. But the actual original, this is the same thing that's used for BABCO, GCAS,
Yes.
and I guess Tatweer.
All government purchasing authority. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any further?
بس بغيت still I want to just ask is it linked already with the e-government portal?
You can click from e-government as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Please.
The selected tenders, they will be published also there?
Only to the invited suppliers.
And how do you
An email will go to the suppliers.
And how do you keep up with who is supplying what? Because, you know, agencies change, people change their dynamic.
Well, first of all, there is something called, as I said, pre-qualification. So they get updated with all these companies. Anybody new, they should go and pre-qualify themselves, and they put them in the list. That's what's happening. You are talking about limited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have an update on all those newcomers.
And they will be published in the official gazette, Jarida Rasmiya?
الجريدة الرسمية as a tender?
Yeah.
Yeah, الجريدة الرسمية, yeah.
They will be published, the selected tenders.
Yeah, but they will say it is a selected.
Okay.
Yeah. But there is an email will go only to those invited for that tender. Any more question? Okay. Thank you so much for coming and for listening. Still, I